O King, my King, every 13th week shall I give a new report on the goings on in the world, and contrast it to the map of prophecy, so to speak. This is a 13th week. Here is my report. 1. Whatever happens in the course of the next 3 months and the next 5 years has not escaped the Lord's notice, and so it's part of the plan. 2. One Marian apparition, the ones on a mountain of Spain, suggests situations will start to boil over when the Pope is returning from Moscow. He wants to stop there on his way back from Mongolia. We have eyes on that situation. 3. If you notice, I've taken on element 23 as a pseudonym. It is because of a dream I've had. The dream pointed to next month, September 23. I did not know if it pointed to a day, but I was fair sure it pointed to a year. Dreams are just dreams, but it never hurts to be prepared in case they are true. I've interpreted many a dream I've had, and this one was no metaphor. 4. I did have another dream that pointed to September the 4th, but I do not know the year, and this one involved Ireland. 5. Father Oliveira from Brazil had a prophecy about next month relating September 23 to St. Padre Pio's feast day. Father Oliveira's visions predicts the breakout of a higher-scaled war. We shall see if it comes to that. 6. The borderland situation is still going on. Our time's possible Nebuchadnezzar has taken control of the eastern regions. Again, he's not supposed to take the entire borderlands, prophetically speaking. 7. The supposed leader of the free world has corrupted ties to the borderlands, and so do other big companies and interests. And this Nebuchadnezzar probably knows it and presses on it to make it hurt. 8. And so the situation is causing a massive debt bleed out for the great nation of the ocean. 9. So-called green solutions are also contributing to an economic collapse, but this is being done on purpose to usher the world towards a cashless society. 10. Our Lady of Serenity did say the kingdom of Satan has come, but they will go up against God and lose, not without extreme damage, however. 11. Again, I'm unclear as to whether or not the kingdom of Satan is the globalist empire, Nebuchadnezzar's empire, or an amalgam of Nebuchadnezzar's empire and the wasps of the East, including the red state of the Long March. 12. But the migrant crisis has planted a false prophet's time bombs all over Western Europe, and the clock ticks. 13. I think of Apocalypse 13 still in our time, especially verse 10. He that shall lead into captivity shall go into captivity. He that shall kill by the sword must be killed by the sword. Here is patience and the faith of the saints. 14. Nebuchadnezzar held Israel captive during the Babylonian invasion. It may be a repeated trope in our time for Catholics, although we've been in a secular world for over 200 years. 15. It means that we must bide our time and wait. From perhaps next month to the year 2029, which will be another year of great interest, we may see heavy conflict take on the world, the likes we haven't seen since the 1940s. So now is a time for prayer until God decides to speak, so to speak. 16. Studying Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Daniel, the books in the Old Testament, will be exceedingly profitable for our time when it comes to the Spirit. These ones all dealt with the exile to Babylon, as did the book of Tobit. 17. Israel went through a 7-step cycle, and we may well be going through the same as Catholics, having arrived to that 6th step, the exile. The book of Apocalypse contrasts a holy city with an unholy city. The holy city I talked about in chapters 7, 14, and 21, but that unholy city is highlighted in chapters 11, 13, especially 17, and 20 as its fate. 18. So although tension shall break out, it is the birth pangs as spoken of in Matthew 24, where nation will rise against nation. 19. None of this escapes the notice of God, and war, even nuclear war, even the Armageddon war, is trivial compared to what the earth is about to encounter. Some might say I underestimate nuclear war. I don't. They will have underestimated the degree of the coming chastisement. When the celestial dragon comes, I will call that one Sirocco, which will be the beginning of the consummation. But it will only mark the beginning of the consummation. 21. So, long story short, the devil will have his hour. 22. Yet Christ knew that though the devil has his hour, the next will be the hour of the greatest victory. 23. Because the greatest victory that took place was God's willing crucifixion, and for creatures it was Our Lady standing faithfully at the foot of the cross, never having once calculated any possible loss other than the loss of her soul. Remember then, O King, that the devil only wants one thing, our soul, and he will be given to take everything else away from us and trade those things back in exchange for our soul, that we might become marked with the beast. But that we must refuse, no matter the cost, because we have to bear the mark of the Lamb.